What's good, people? It's your boy, Uncle Fred, back in the house, back in the saddle one more again. Uh, been away for a couple of weeks, ever since the Super Bowl. Been kind of, biding my time, trying to watch some things. We're kind of in the off season. We had the combine. We're gonna talk a little bit. But we'll talk a little bit about some of the combine things, and some of the silly moves the Cowboys is making and some of the things I'd like to see done this year as we prepare for the 2024 season. So we're going to talk about that here in uh, just a minute. Y'all sit back for a taste. We'll be right back.
Two times on the beat, bitch.
Again, what's good? It's your boy Uncle Fred back in the house again. Please hit that like, comment, and subscribe, and try to get our viewership and subscribership up and everything. You see in the thumbnail, we see. But before we get to that, we know we had the combine this weekend. Past weekend, we saw a lot of stuff. Now, the combine is known for a couple of things. Now, it's what is called the underwear Olympics. A bunch of dudes out there with skivvies, t-shirts, and skivvies, and they get ran and they get measured. That's always a big chuckle to me, right? A bunch of dudes running around in their drawers getting measured, and almost like this slavery auction. Well, I ain't getting to that. But anyway, but it's some information to be gained from that process and stuff. So I get it. I definitely get that. You get ready to invest $10 million on a handful of players here. You might want to see what they can do. Can they move? Can they catch? Can they jump? Can they run? Can they how do they interview? All that sort of stuff. So I get it. It's just there were some interesting things we saw. I definitely think a lot of players helped themselves. Like I said, the purpose of the combine is first for players who feel like it's imperative for them to improve their draft stock. I wanted to show what they are capable of doing to come and perform. It's also an opportunity. It's like a coming together. It's like a family reunion. All of the people are there. All the owners are there. Supposedly the coaches and stuff are there. Of course, our coaches weren't there, but they sent Jerry and Steven. Now, Will and Chris Vaughn, I see why they're there. They're scouts. That's what they do, and their staff. They're scouts. But Mike and Mike, stayed back at the ranch, which, whatever. You left, But the other part is that because all of the people are there, all the agents are there, you're supposed to get some business done while you're there. That's kind of the purpose for being there. Anyway, I'll get back to that. But there were some notable people from wide receiver groups. Man, I don't think nobody did more to help themselves than Xavier Worthy, wide receiver from Texas. Man, that kid ran a 4.2140. I got it right here somewhere. He ran a 4.2140, which is a combine record. Okay. And that's not all he did. He also did well in the broad jump. He was jumped 10 feet 11 inches, and he also the vertical jump. He had 41-inch vertical. Okay, so he did a lot of good things in that And I'm telling you right there, man, you may say, well, he may only can run one route. Well, I don't know about that. But all I know in the right hands and the hand, I'm telling you right now, if that dude right there fall to the Chiefs, Andy Reid gonna be just like this. He gonna be just like Birdman. He gonna be just like this right here. Because he said, I done found my Tyreek Hill replacement right there. That dude ran a 4.21. All right. So, but I don't not only him, Brian Thomas Jr., the kid from LSU, second to Malik Neighbors. He ran a 4.33, which is pretty good. Donai Mitchell, the other dude from Texas, the bigger guy, I think he's like 6 foot, like 200 pounds. He ran a 4.34. And there were some others. Now, notable, a guy I like and a guy I think we maybe could have gotten the second round if we hadn't have messed some other things up, but whatever. I'll talk about that in a minute. Xavier Legette, that's a guy I like from South Carolina, ran a 4.39 40. He also jumped 40 inches in the vertical. So he did pretty good as well. So I think he may have moved himself up into the first round, maybe. But I hope because he's like 6'3" and like 225. He's a big dude, big physical dude, fast, good catch radius. I like that guy, man. That's my wide receiver. I think we can get, man. But I know we got other fish to fry now. Other things, running backs, Isaiah Guriendo from Louisville ran a 4.33. I think he's a transfer. Was it from Tennessee? He transferred from another school, ended up at Louisville. Mentioned in Tennessee, Jalen Wright from Tennessee ran a 4.38. Trey Benson out of Florida State ran a 4.39. Blake Corum on a 4.53. Blake Corum also bench pressed 225 times, like 27 times. I'm thinking, good gosh, he's a big, strong back. Because we got some PSD from Michigan guys. So, okay. But there was some other, then, of course, the cornerbacks. That Nate Wiggins, a guy I really wasn't sold on because they play a lot of zone coverage. The NFL is more like a man-to-man. They play some zone too, but he did well for himself. I think he ran a 4.28 40 and ran a 4.31, I think, in his second one. Had us blowing in the wind. I mean, he cut some of the hair off. He shaved another 2 or 3 inches off that, 2 or 3 milliseconds off of that time. And then another dude I think helped himself was a guy, Kenyon Mitchell from Toledo, who not only did well in the 40, because I think he ran a 4.33, but he also did well in some of the other drills as well. And then he also was very good in the Senior Bowl where, you had guys, he was locking down guys that kind of came and went to the Senior Bowl. I got his quarterback stats here too, if I can find them. Yeah. He also, Kenyon Mitchell also did 20 bench presses of 225, 20 of them. So it makes him strong too. He also had a 38-inch vertical. So Nate Wiggins had a 10.7 inch broad jump. So notable also Tyron Arnold, who's supposed to be cornerback 1, ran a 4.51 40. So some of those guys did good for themselves. I think Kenyon Mitchell made himself cornerback 2 in this draft. Like I said, the big draw against him was that he played against what was considered lesser competition at Toledo in the MAC conference. I mean, you playing against Northern Illinois and Western Michigan and receivers like that. What do you do when you play Ohio State and you're playing against Marvin Harrison Jr.? What are you doing when you're playing those guys? But when he went to the Senior Bowl and he was playing against the best seniors, he did good and locked some of them guys up. So that's good there. So anyway, so good job. And I think I heard somewhere that my man Joe Milton threw a ball like 75 yards and threw it into a freaking bucket. good show, man. I don't think he's gonna be anybody's quarterback one, but hey, man, he's got an arm on him though. So I mean, in the right system, guys can kind of formulate and harness that. You know, he might be a good pickup for somebody. So we'll see. But anyway, it was a good showing. Some guys definitely made some money for themselves. But anyway, at the combine, also, here's the thing. The other thing is you're supposed to meet with agents and stuff like that. Considering as the Cowboys, we're in an quote unquote all in uh, mindset. Now, I didn't say that. Your owner said that. Jerry Jones said, "Oh, we're all in." She double hockey sticks out of it. We're definitely going to do all that and stuff. So, but Steven tempered that at the beginning of the combine, saying, "Well, you know, when has Jerry not been all in? He's all in." I said, "No, we not all in. We never all in. We never do as much as we can do. We always sort of like just, you know, step around the pool, never stick our foot in, if you understand what I'm saying." So we've always done that sort of thing. So, but we understand that we got some moves that we need to make in order to kind of, you know, we're like like $9 million over the salary cap. Of course, we're not by ourselves. A team like the Saints were like $80 million over the cap. But the funny thing is, while they're at the combine, they made moves, cut players, and did other things to make themselves cap compliant. I don't know what we were doing there other than skinning and grinning. Now, we did watch some of the combine stuff, and I think we did make um, combine official visits. I think they met with linebackers, Junior Colson, Tyron Harper from Missouri, Edrin Cooper, which, yeah, I like that. Oh, yeah, notable also from the linebacker core. I forgot to mention this. Peyton Wilson from North Carolina State ran a 4.3440. 4.4340. I'm sorry. The fastest linebacker in college, Peyton Wilson, North Carolina State. He's been an injury guy. You know, he got hurt in his freshman and sophomore year, but he's played 2 seasons and has been like injury free. He's my linebacker one. Edrin Cooper is my linebacker 1A. You know, if you can't get one, you get the other one. But they met with Junior Colson from Michigan. You know, okay. Edrin Cooper, McKinley Jackson from Texas A&M. That's a big one tech, 331 pounds. Mason Smith, that's with 2 A's from LSU. He's like 340 pounds. Chris Jenkins, a Michigan defensive tackle. You know, they met with those guys for official visits and stuff like that, among some others. But, you know, so those are the things you're supposed to be doing at the combine. But understanding this, we also have some switches we got to hit in terms of players that we've got to make some adjustments on in order to become cap compliant. Okay. So, and what that means, you know, and a lot of people, I even heard, you know, shouts out to Law Nation saying that you got to contact them agents and let them know that you messing with them folks' contract. No, not really. When the things that they got to do to these guys' contracts, all you got to do is it's just a paperwork thing. You just move money from salary to bonus. You know, it's just a bookkeeping thing. You move things from one category to another column. It doesn't change the money that they get, but it changes how it's reflected in salary cap ramifications, right? You know, we're trying to teach people about these kind of things. That's what I try to do on my channel. I try to teach people. I don't want you, as the Bible will say, we will not have you be ignorant. That's in Thessalonians. We don't want you to be ignorant. We want you to be learned, right? So that's what they do. So when people tell you that Dak Prescott's contract is, you know, he's getting $59 million this year, that's a lot. He's not getting $59 million. His cap implication is $59 million. Okay. His cap numbers for his career, since he's got the $160 million contract, was 17 million in 21, 19.7 million in 22, 26.8 million on last year. And I think it moves up to like 34 million this year. That's how much money he's actually sliding into his palms. But because the contract is such what it is, they move the money and do stuff to it. You push money about, and then you have balloon payments. That's why that is. So the cap hits, not the money he's getting paid. That's the cap implications of it, right? So you can't avoid the cap. You can move money around, but eventually you got to pay the piper for that. Okay. So, but anyway, but you gotta, but in other contracts, you just basically moving money from salary to bonus. So for instance, you'll take a guy like Trevor, like Zach Martin, and you can get like $12.5 million of his, even though he just signed that extension or whatever, just back there in the preseason. You can get $12.5 million off of him by moving it from salary to bonus. Also um, from Zach Martin, you can get that amount. From um, Trayvon Diggs, you can get $7.9 million from Michael Gallup, which he'll be a post June 1st cut. You can get about $9.5 million off of that. I think $4.5 million off of DeMarcus Lawrence, 4.3 million there, and you get about $3 million off of Donovan Wilson, which a little bit there. So you add that all up, that's about $40 million. You 12, 4, that's 16.8. Plus 8's 24 and 9's 33 and 5 is 38 and 3. So it's like $41 million there. Okay. Just in moving some switches. Okay. And then if you go ahead and extend that, and look, man, you and I both, none of us can see the thing straight. Dak Prescott making $60 million. Well, that's just the way things are going, man, because I think guys are making $50 million. I mean, would you rather be a guy paying Dak Prescott $60 million or be the Cincinnati Bengals? You were paying Joe Burrow 55, 54, and he missed half the season. Or paying what's the kid from the Chargers? Justin, I can't think his last name. 54 million, and he missed, six of the last 7 games, with a broken hand. And you can sit in all that money, he's on the sideline. However much money you paying Dak Prescott, he did play all 17 games last year. Okay. And the best ability is what? Availability. Right. So, but I mean, maybe he don't take 60 million. Maybe he comes in at 56 million, 50, and maybe a million more than the highest guy. And you mix that in, and he comes in at a salary cap implication of like 34 million. So really, you've saved about $25 million. All right. So you add that $25 million to the 70 million, to the 40 million, and that's like $65 million, $66 million. Then you couple that with the $34.4 million you got from the salary cap bump. People ain't talking about that. You got $30.4 million you got this year that you didn't have last year. Okay. That's money you find in the seat cushions. All right. So you got more money to play with than you had. So you can, don't cry poverty here. And for all those people that say, well, I mean, you still gotta, and I get it. You still got a budget. You still got to play your budget. Okay. Just because you won the lottery don't mean you just throw money to the wind. I get all that. But you don't live like a pauper either. Okay. You don't go shopping at Dollar General either, So anyway, you're supposed to be meeting with agents and stuff like that. So in addition to that, you also can get money. And I forgot, you get money from the extension of CD Lamb. Now, I will say this about the CD Lamb contract, because I know the Joneses, and I don't cape for the Joneses, but a lot of people have been getting on them and say, man, why they not going on getting the CD Lamb deal done? because you want to be the first one to get the deal done. The first one to get the deal done usually gets the cheapest deal. It's like in an interrogation detective work. If you spill the beans first, you get the best deal. You get immunity. Because you told first. So if you sign the deal first, you usually get the best deal. But you ever thought of the fact that maybe CeeDee Lamb and his agent maybe not wanting to talk now? Maybe they waiting to see what Justin Jefferson signs for, so they know where they're supposed to be, which I kind of hate that, because I would like to say, hey, man, let's go ahead and get this deal done, and that way we can move on with our business. We don't care what the Minnesota Vikings are doing. We care about our business. The sooner we get your deal done, the sooner we can free up the $20 million or so we can get with your contract, to marry that with the $26 million we'll save, or $25 million we'll save on the Dak contract. We can flip them switches on those other dudes I just mentioned. And we'll almost have like $100 million of money we can play with, we can go shopping with. That being said, if you look at my thumbnail, we let Tyron go. Now, he went into the thing, and they met with Tyron's agent. And according to Ian Rappaport, was it Ian Rappaport? Was it Michael Gelkin? Can't remember which one it was. They said that they and the Cowboys are on opposite ends of the salary spectrum. Now, you know what that tells me? Now, keep that in mind, that you got switches that you can flip on all those contracts I just mentioned. Plus, now you can also restructure Dak's contract too, and basically put voidable years on the end, which will make his salary cap palatable this year too. But after this year, if you make him play on that, he's definitely gone next year, which I know a lot of the Cowboy fans want him gone, which is fine. I mean, you can want him gone, but have a plan. And that's what I'm about to say about Tyron Smith. So what I know what they probably did, they came in and said, and Tyron Smith signed a deal last year. I'm gonna tell you what he signed. He signed a 6-year base contract, $6 million base contract. And I think he had injury concerns and injury built-in mechanisms were to cover the Cowboys in case he don't play, because Tyron hadn't played a full season since 2015. That's before Dak got here. We think Dak been here forever. He hadn't played a full season since Dak been here. Hadn't played as many as 13 games that he played this year since 2019. Only played like 3 games last year. Remember, he came back and they played him at right tackle. He had torn his hamstring from the bone in preseason and training camp. And many thought he was just going. But Tyron is such a trooper. He's such a gamer. He was actually able to come back and was able to play in them December games when Terrence Steele went down. They moved him over to right tackle because Tyler Smith was actually man in left tackle. Played pretty well too. But he's not been a guy that's been reliable injury-wise. So the Cowboys were smart to put some mechanisms in there to cover for that. So he got a $6 million base contract and then about $500,000 per game that he played. And we know he missed 4 games. He played 13. So that put him at about $6.5 million in base in incentive money. So he got about $12.5 million, which, that's not bad. But you factor in Tyron Smith played all-pro left tackle this year. And so did you think after this dude was an all-pro, and you know what all-pro means? All-pro means you were the second best player at your position in the entire league. That's what that means. So, and as a player, your play is your leverage, because that's how they get rid of you. You play and you don't play up to the standard that you signed a 5-year, $75 million contract, which is like $15 million a year, and you're running back and you got 700 yards and you got 3.5 yards a carry or something like that. yeah, they'll get like what happened to Zeke. And because your play wasn't up to snuff, that's justifiable for them to get rid of you or make you take less money. Okay. Your play is your leverage. Okay. Tyron signed an incentive-laden contract last year, and they came up with a formula which they didn't practice him much. Shoot, Tyron would get hurt getting out of bed, walking to the training facility, okay, and would get hurt. So they come up with a plan like, hey, we just do you walkthroughs during the week, and you just play on Sunday. He even got hurt on his week off after we played the Chargers, man. And had that week off. Or after the 49ers had that week off, he got hurt. And I'm like, Tyron, how you get hurt on an off week? That's just like Smokey telling Craig and Friday. How you get fired on your day off? But somehow he got hurt on the off week, right? But they came up with a formula where he don't practice during the week. Okay, he just practices. He just does walkthrough and he plays in games. And he very seldom gets hurt in games. So he signed that incentive-laden contract. He made $12.5 million last year, somewhere in that neighborhood. Which, if you're an all-pro, that's still a steal. All-pro linemen are making $18, $19, $20 million. Okay, especially left tackle. That's the most coveted position on the offensive line. So you were stupid or naive or just cheap and frugal to think you could go and put before him the same contract that you put before him last year when he was coming off a 3 games played year in 22. And he played all pro and played 13 games and was all pro. You thought you could hand him well, we're going to give you $6 million. No. I'm going to slide that right on. He going to put the same thing on Jerry. Our El Paso. That just means we'll pass. Okay. You should have already built into your mechanisms and your thought process with all the money we have in the excess to play with. And then we got a $30 million bump in salary cap. We already going into it. Look, we're going to probably at least give him a $4 million bump in base salary just out the starting gate. Then we'll work from there on the incentives and things of that nature. Okay. But they don't think like that. They probably tried to hand him the same contract. Now, what ended up happening is Tyron and his agent like, look, man. And when they look at the free agent market, Tyron Smith is the number 1 free agent tackle on the market. So that means he's going to get offers from other teams. So he's like, no, I ain't got to take that hometown discount. I'm going to get offers from other teams. Now, the Cowboys are saying, well, we don't want to give you, $18 million, because really it's going to be a 1-year deal. And like I said, all these people are saying, oh, well, we're fine to get rid of Tyron. I'm fine with that. But you got to have a plan for that. You can't just get rid of an all-pro guy. And like something Law Nation said, shout out to Law Nation, we never get nothing for our guys that we get rid of. We just get rid of them and we just got a hole in our lineup. If you think you want to get rid of Tyron Smith, or trade him to somebody and get draft compensation, get a 4th round pick, get your 3rd round pick, But no, we're gonna let him walk and don't get nothing for him. Okay. And what's gonna happen is he'll probably leave us. And you was trying to give him a $7 million base contract, and he's gonna go to Kansas City and sign for like $8.5 million. And so for $1.5 million, you could have still had Tyron Smith. And the reason I'm saying I'm touting Tyron Smith is that if we're going to have an all-in year, you don't want to be putting a rookie left tackle in there. We're trying to be all-in. Because when anybody that's a rookie or somebody else, if you want to slide Tyler Smith over to left tackle, which is fine, but let's just face it, Tyler Smith is a better offensive lineman than Tyron Smith, but he's not a better left tackle. Tyler Smith was the 2nd best left tackle to Williams in San Francisco. The 2nd best left tackle in the game. But Tyler might be the best offensive lineman on our roster because he's able to play 2 positions at a high level. He was not terrible as a rookie playing left tackle last year. He wasn't as good as Tyron was this year, but he was pretty good as a rookie. He made some mistakes, gave up some sacks or what have you, but he was good enough. And by this time, with all the lessons he's learned, he'd be pretty good at left tackle. I don't think he'd be good as Tyron, but then you'd be moving some unknown to left guard. Maybe T.J. Bass, maybe Brock Hoffman. Okay. See, for me, I would say, look, let's make a good offer at Tyron Smith for a 1-year deal, and let's draft us a tackle in the second round. Okay. Because this tackle is deep. Did you not see those? Look, something else I want to mention about the combine. Did you see those routines that Jeff Southland was doing? Jeff Southland is the offensive line coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. You see those drills he had them off in. You see how precise those were, man. That's who we should have as our offensive line coach, man. Or one of his disciples or somebody that works under him instead of Mike Solari. I'm digressing now, but and don't come to me talking about, well, he's an Eagle, because we looking at Hassan Reddick and we looking at DeAndre Swift. So stop it. Okay. I don't get into that, man. If a player can help us, I don't care who he played for. I ain't thinking about that. I mean, can he help us? I don't care about that. Right? I digress. But we can get us an offensive, get us a tackle in the first, but see, what I was wanting to do is draft an offensive lineman in the second or third round. See, I don't mind getting rid of Tyron, but have a plan for that. Meaning you draft his replacement, okay? And if you weren't going to do that, then look, I was going to say keep Tyron for another year, give him a decent contract this year, keep him for another year, draft you a guy in the second round, maybe the third round, draft you a center, let Tyler Biadasz go, draft you Jackson Powers Johnson, or at the very least Graham Barton, which probably fits the Joneses more because he plays guard and tackle and center. Position flex. They love position flex. They love guys that can play one or two different positions. So like what they did with Micah just now on his 5th-year option, they put him in as a defensive end rather than a linebacker, which is $2 million more less dollars per year. They want to do that thing, whatever like that, but whatever. But that's what I would have done, rather than just lowball him and lose him. Now you got to address that in the first round. Now I would go get my man from what's his name? Is it the guy from Washington? They call him Fats, Tyler Fats, Fontano. I think that's how it's pronounced. That's the guy I would want, man. He was looking good in them drills, man. But a lot of them other guys too. Joe Alt, but he's not going to be there when we draft. Fuega from Oregon State, he's not going to be there when we draft. But Fontano, however you pronounce his name, he might be there. Man, I'd love to get center because, see, if you do that, you might have to keep Tyler Biadasz. And Tyler Biadasz is a good center, but dang, I hate seeing him getting tossed around because he's the reason why our running game wasn't no better. But here's the thing I want to talk about. Our front office is not doing us any favors, man. And I know how we like to make, the players the most responsible for things. Everything's Dak's fault, just like everything was Tony's fault. People don't know, man, because I didn't have a YouTube channel, man. I used to go to bat for Tony Romo. I said, man, Tony Romo is a good quarterback. You just got to play him the way he's supposed to be played. You can't play him like he's Peyton Manning because he's not, okay? You got to have the right game plan for him, all right? Lesser quarterbacks have won Super Bowls. Yeah, I think Eli Manning is a less quarterback than Tony Romo, but he's got hardware, and you can't argue with that because he's got 2 Super Bowls. But put him on the Cowboys and put Romo on the Giants with that better organization. Yes, the Giants were better organizations in the early mid 2000s than the Cowboys because they had better coaching and the organizational structure and how they built teams was better. They had a plan on how they built their teams, and it was better than how we were using ours. Okay, you know how I know that? You remember how we played the Patriots when we played them earlier that year, and we was trying to get into a shootout with them. What did the Giants do? They like, no, we can't beat them at that. Let's slow the game down and play defense and load up the defense. And they had Justin Tuck, Michael Strahan, Osen Umanura pound that freaking middle, and they put pressure on the Patriots, and they held them to 14 points. That take game planning and management and that sort of thing. I mean, you had to put some sweat equity in building your defense up to be a certain way and whatnot. But we played them. We was trying to go up and down the field with them. The same way we were doing when we tried to play the Broncos in 2013. Y'all remember that game? It was 51-48 when we was trying to match Peyton Manning throw for throw. And I'm like, what are we doing? Run DeMarco Murray and keep the ball out of Peyton's hands. But and what did Jerry say after the game? Man, wasn't that something? No, it wasn't nothing. We lost the game. Because we're trying to play. We're trying to win in the school of public opinion. We're trying to win we're trying to because scoring points is more palatable than winning the game. 17-14. But and what did Romo do? He threw an interception to Danny Trevathan late in the game, and they won the game. And they just took the ball right there, ran 4 plays, and kicked the field goal, 151-48. Because we were trying to go up and down the field against them. Now, when the next year, when we drafted Zach Martin, and we was able to pair Zach Martin with Tyron Smith, with Travis Frederick, and we ran the ball with DeMarco Murray, and I think Tony Romo had like 1 or 2 300-yard games that year. We won 12 games. And Romo was just good in the spots, and he was able to manage the game and do different things. And we were the better team for that. What I'm saying is that Tony Romo was good enough to win, just like Dak is good enough to win. But you got to build the thing correctly around them. The game plan has to be better. It has to be better than what we're playing, than what we're doing, than how we're putting it. Okay? Well, that counts too much against the salary cap. Well, yeah, but in 2021, that counted $17 million against the cap. What did we do? We didn't do anything. Okay? 19.7 and 22. What did we do? What notable free agent did we get? Okay? 2023 was 26 points, which is last year. What did we do? Well, I know we got Cooks and Stephon Gilmore, which they cost us 5th and a 6th round pick. Big whoop. We don't make it. And what team do you know? And we're going to close this video. What team do you know that made their business and made their marks and won Super Bowl just from getting players in the draft and don't supplement it with getting a free agent here or there? I'll wait, because he didn't even go back, because I would say even worst quarterbacks have won. Yeah, Brad Johnson won with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Nobody thinks Brad Johnson's better than Dak Prescott, but they had some Hall of Famers on that team. They had Brooks, Warren Sapp. Okay, what's the safety's name? Barber, Rondé Barber. But they also went out and got Simeon Rice. Okay, he didn't get drafted by them. Also went out and got Keyshawn Johnson and some other guys. Okay, some other defenders. They went and got other guys to supplement what they got in the draft, and they won a Super Bowl with a hellified defense and special plays here and there. Okay, and they won a Super Bowl. Okay. So they didn't just go off of just drafted players. And you look at any other the great teams in the NFL, they got players that they drafted, sure, okay, but they also went and spent money in free agency. What did the Eagles do? Yeah, they drafted well. They drafted Jalen Hurts. They drafted Devontae Smith. Yeah, they drafted what's the center's name from Alabama? God, I can never think of his name. They drafted Lane Johnson and Jason Kelsey. They drafted all those dudes, right? But they also went and got A.J. Brown, okay? Also went out and got Darius Slay, okay? Also went out and got C.J. Gardner-Johnson, okay? Also went out and got DeAndre Swift, okay? Also went out and got Rashad Penny, okay? Also went out and got other players, okay? Went out and got Ndamukong Suh, Lindell Joseph. Went and got guys, 49ers. They got guys they drafted, but they also went out and got Chase Young, went out and got Christian McCaffrey. Okay, but we're not able to do that, and that's why if those teams and we build our team even with those teams, and they go out and get 2 or 3 free agents, and we sit on our hands, they're better than us. And in closing, what did Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones say? Man, if we go get a free agent, You know, if I can get a guy and I can get 3 guys for the same price I pay for that guy, I'm going to be all in on them 3 guys. And that tells you where we're at. They'd rather go get Devin Singletary and what's the running back from what's that running back? Go get him and Ronald Jones and another piece of a running back rather than get Saquon Barkley. Get Saquon Barkley for $8 million and just roll. Okay. You got to spend money to make money. Scared money don't make none. Okay. And you got a freaking $9 billion organization. You got to, if you hit the right switches, $100 million to play with. Let's go shopping, people. Let's get this thing done. Anyway, that's all y'all today, man. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let Tyron Smith go, but the deal ain't over with. Maybe we can still get a deal done. We'll see what happens with that. Like, comment, become a part of the Uncle Fred Sports experience. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. We'll catch you guys on the next video.